Alright, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. So this story right here is out of Detroit, right? But I'm using this story to segue to say something about the games that law enforcement plays with a certain group of people. Stay tuned. So this story headline, the headline alone is heartbreaking, but I could imagine what the parents are going through. The story says that a Detroit woman was murdered after testifying in a carjacking, and her dad believes that the carjacking the case where she testified in the carjacking is related to her being murdered. Alright, so just a little FYI for all my Jamaicans out there. 2017, Detroit saw 267 murders for the year. That same year, Jamaica saw 1,616 murders for the year. And if you compare in size one to the other, then and demographics as well as population, then you get my drift. But this is the young lady right here. Alright, the story goes like this. It says that the father of a woman murdered in Detroit Tuesday morning says that it's no coincidence that his daughter was murdered after testifying in a carjacking case. Detroit's police department is investigating the murder of a woman who was shot in the head at a home on Detroit's east side, just south of 8 Mile. Police said that they were called to the 16,000 block of Collingham around 8:15 Tuesday morning. When they arrived, they found a woman had been shot in the head. She was pronounced dead at the scene. So, headshot. She didn't even have to go to the hospital. There was no trauma, nothing. Shot dead at the scene. Family identified the woman as Starkisa Thompson. Her father, Curtis Thompson, said that she was recently carjacked and she testified in court in the case. He thinks the carjacking and her murder are related. So basically, she's out there driving her car. She stopped at a stoplight. Somebody pull up against her, masked up. Well, this person wasn't masked up. Get out your car. Get out the car. Give me the keys. Whatever. Took her car. Carjacked her. She apparently was able to identify the individual that did it. She was brave enough to go to court, show up in court, testify, and now she is dead. She was pressured. Let me say this first of all. Detroit is known for being gang affiliated and gang connected all over. A lot of gangs in Detroit. So somebody could easily put a hit out on her even if the person is arrested. And I would have to do a whole other video. For those of you who don't understand how this works, I would have to do a whole other video for you to understand how that works. She was pressured by prosecutors to testify against some people who carjacked her, and sure is coincidental now that my daughter is dead, her father said. It's relation of her being carjacked and testifying against the people, that's what it is. Somebody's going to pay for this. I don't know if it's the prosecutor or the people running around sneaking in the streets of Detroit, but somebody's going to pay for this. As Curtis waited while police collected evidence, the emotional pain became too much for him to bear. The father, they said, appeared to have had a heart attack at the scene. At the scene of the investigation, the father fell out from a heart attack. Fortunately, there was a chaplain there, and the chaplain helped to save his life. When I got over to him, it was like he was seizing and he passed out. I checked to see if he had a pulse, and he had no pulse. He didn't have a heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. I started to give him chest compressions and kept giving him chest compressions until the paramedics arrived 15 minutes later. So, shout out to my Jamaican people on there that say I never do stories about what's happening in the U.S. and terrible things happen here too. I'm very well aware that terrible things happen here too. But I'm going to take you up on that offer. It's only going to make my audience bigger because now I'm going to be catering to a wider audience outside of that little island. I'm still going to be spotlighting what's in Jamaica. If you notice right here, though, police ambulance was on the scene within 15 minutes. Is it so in Jamaica? Anyhow, Curtis said that he didn't want the police to put a victim or a witness in harm's way to solve a case. They're not being on top of their job. They want citizens to do their jobs for them. But this, by my daughter, this is the reason why my daughter is gone. He said Starkisa was carjacked in Harper Woods. Police there would not comment, but the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office released a statement saying, Ms. Thompson was not pressured by any member of WCPO to testify in the case. We will not comment further because there is an investigation by police into this fatal shooting. Alright, so the first thing I want you to notice is how none of the police departments are talking and none of them are saying anything much except for first thing they're letting, or the only thing they're letting the public know is this. Nobody forced this girl to testify. That's it. Nobody forced her to testify, and we won't say anything else because there are ongoing investigations in the shooting. You can't blame people sometimes for not wanting to, and I'm not saying you shouldn't cooperate with the police, but I'm saying you cannot blame people sometimes for cooperating with the police, because the first thing they will try to do is to clear their name and leave you out there flagging in the wind. Now, I remember watching First 48, the show is called The First 48, right? And on the First 48, there were murders and then there were retaliation for those murders. Here's the thing. What they did on the First 48, they would bring people in. And let me say this. All these internet warriors and these tough talking people, everybody is so gangster behind a keyboard, or even in person when you meet them. They're so gangster. They're so gangster until the police put hands on them and put handcuffs on you and put them in a little room where they start talking big numbers. I've watched that show for years and I've only seen one guy refuse to testify. One. Now, what they were doing though is what they do all the time. They will solve their case, but I think that sometimes the police wants another murder. Like, it keeps their job going. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, why would you, if you watch it, go look up some old episodes of First 48 and you will see when people are telling. Now, you and I are street people, right? We come from the same neighborhood. We both involved in a murder. You don't think I'm watching the First 48? You don't think somebody's going to tell me that you've been on the First 48? Hey, man, your homeboy Ray, he been on the First 48 and he called your name. And then they show the people's face. I'm going to show you where he live at. I'm going to tell you who it was. It wasn't me, though. And all they got to do is grab one person and say, well, we put you at the scene of the crime. And witnesses put you at the scene of the crime. And you looking at a murder charge, man. You looking at least 25 years. How old are you? 25? You'll probably be home around 50 if you get out. People start rolling. It wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. Let me tell you what happened. They picked me up in the car. They were supposed to drop me around the corner. And before they could drop me around the corner, Ray and Day, they pulled up on and tells everything. But the people's face are there talking. Even when they blur the face out, the face is not blurred out a lot. And I've seen episodes where they did not blur the face out. And I've seen episodes where they blurred the face out. But if I know you, I could tell that's you. Now, these people still have their families, their children. If you're a street dude, you got your baby mama or your wife in the hood or wherever you live at. These other people know, they know you. They know who you are. They know your family members. So when you see family members in connection getting killed, it's this type of stuff that the police does. And everybody knows that the police don't have to pressure you to pressure you, especially if you're not a street person or you're not hardened to police tactics. So, I feel bad for this girl. Beautiful girl too. I feel bad for her. What if she was beautiful to me or not? I feel bad for her. Somebody's daughter, her father's having a heart attack at the scene of, man, that's sad. But it is my belief that it's exactly what her dad said it was. And it's funny to me how quickly that police department puts out a statement to the public saying nobody over here pressured her. Sad day. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Are you afraid of police officers? Are you afraid to testify in a case if you've seen something go wrong? Are you afraid of interaction with the police officer? Like, are you the type to tell if you see things going wrong and then actually show up at court date and testify, yes, I saw this and that? Give an answer, yes, no, and why. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Let me hear what you got to say about this one. I'm out. Peace.